Bitcoin is facing an upper area of resistance. Are the Bitcoin bulls able to rally BTC higher and get a break to a new all-time high? In today's video, I'm going to be jumping into the technical analysis on Bitcoin, sharing my thoughts and opinions on what I think is about to happen for BTC. Let's roll that intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to another video update. Today we are of course taking a look at Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the 4-hour Binance chart, and boy oh boy has Bitcoin been interesting as of late. Obviously we hit into that new all-time high. We saw the drop by 14.49%, and that drop of 14.49 then saw us rally up 14.64%. right? We can see a lot of volatility here, and as I was saying in yesterday's video, we have this upper area of resistance coming in at $66,773 to $69,000, and then we have this lower area of support coming in at $59,005 to $61,410. Now, as we saw this breakout, this fantastic trade that we had over the weekend, we did hit into the new all-time high. Since then, we collapsed down and we've rallied all the way back up. Currently, at the point of recording today's video, we're $66,700. And you can see that we do find ourselves in this little area of resistance right here. And again, we end up in a very similar situation as what we had previously with that weekend breakout, just on a smaller scale. Let's actually take this down into the daily time frame so you guys can see it in a little bit more detail. Here you can see that we have ourselves the lower highs right in here, right? And you can see them getting tapped into this range right here. And at the same time as having that, we also have higher lows on the lower time frames down here as well. This shows us with the potential breakout situation about to occur here for BTC. Now, we've had a couple of touch points on the top and a couple of touch points at the bottom. We could coil up a little bit more before we get the break, but it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Now, as it comes to Bitcoin, it doesn't really matter if we break up or break down, right? We could break up, we could break down. Doesn't really matter, because this is actually a really good place to be from a trading point of view, because in here we can go short when we get a confirmation of a breakdown, right? And we can target out that 200 EMA, tight stop loss, great risk reward ratio, and a great way to kind of trade the market. Alternatively, we get the breakout when you get a closed candle above here. We put the stop loss nice and tight, and we take out the all-time high. If I actually use the correct tool for the job, which will be this one right here, tight stop loss, target out a new all-time high. Great risk reward ratio to be found as well within this range. So again, it doesn't matter which way we go as long as we're trading on one of those breakout situations. So Bitcoin's in a pretty good spot from a trading point of view, because you can kind of trade in both directions. I know a lot of people are just kind of spot holders, and they will be looking at, just price going up because they're holding the actual asset, which is great, by the way, because I think that's the safer way to be in crypto than it is to be leverage-based trading. You can just be spot-based trading. You can swing in and out and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people are just kind of wanting price to only go up because they're holding the asset. Whereas traders who are leverage-based trading, they don't care which direction it goes as long as they're on the right side of the trade. Now, when it comes to trading and leverage-based trading, of course, I'm going to be trading on BitGet. BitGet is my go-to platform when it comes to my leverage-based trades. There is an affiliate link to BitGet in the description down below. If you haven't yet signed up, guys, I urge you to check it out. If you are new to the platform, you are eligible for up to $30,000 of rewards and bonuses depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. There are terms and conditions associated with all of that, though, so do make sure that you are in a country and a jurisdiction that is eligible. All terms and conditions can be found on their website. Now, do bear in mind that trading cryptocurrency is incredibly risky, and you do run the risk of losing your entire capital. There are lots of resources available over on the BitGet website to help you understand how to trade and all that wonderful stuff. So why not check it out? The link is in the description down below. So with Bitcoin here, this very interesting kind of rally that we had, this kind of almost V-shaped bottom that we have, right? This is actually a really bullish sign, but where we find ourselves hitting this resistance in this upper area does have me a little concerned on the shorter time frame stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look. Right here we can see on the 1 hour time frame we're already progressing up towards our overbought range on Bitcoin. This is going to see us with another move to the downside. So it could be that we do short here in this upper area, and we might get a fake breakout beforehand. So when it comes to closed positions, I'm going to be looking for an hourly close above $67,641.10, because up here is where we're going to get a closed position that's going to confirm it's not a fake out. Okay, if we just got a close above the trend line, we can easily reverse back down. So really the key area for entering long is a closed hourly candle above $67,641 in my opinion. Anything lower than that is higher risk, so I probably wouldn't entertain it myself. Now, in terms of breakdowns, we could also see a potential fake out on that regard as well, but I think there actually is a little bit more wiggle room to the downside than there is to the upside, a little bit more, because this is an area previously where there was lots of selling pressure, that's where the sellers are likely to be, whereas buying pressure sits a lot lower. I think you have a little bit more room and more breathing space on a short position than a long position. Okay, so just bear those things in mind. On the 4 hour time frame, if we load up the stochastic RSI here, we can of course see, let's just see if this will load up. It's been a little bit slow today. We've got plenty of room to the upside, but that's not to say that we can't just reverse from where we are. Okay, there's many times in Bitcoin's history here where we have these little moments where we think we're getting a run to the upside, but actually we just reverse down. So just bear in mind that although the stochastic RSI is starting to lift up, it's showing us momentum shifting upwards. Yeah, it might not be the case. Based on the 1 hour time frame, based on the resistance that we're seeing in the charts, I'm going to lean on this being a little bit misleading at the moment. Now, if we take that off and throw on the divergence indicator, the divergence indicator is an indication of the difference between the relative strength index and the price. We obviously got the bearish divergence just up here before we had that 14% drop, and there isn't anything else kind of being flagged up from a divergence point of view at the moment. So that's okay, not too concerned about that. If we bring this down to the 1 hour time frame, we can also check to see whether or not there's any divergences here. We did have some bearish divergence when we most recently tapped into that high. We did see that move to the downside. At the moment, we are not seeing any more divergences here. So we might find some bullish divergence though, which might be an indication of a breakout if we continue to push up a little bit more, yet have a lower high, but a higher high on the relative strength index. That could be something that we might be starting to see form here on the 1 hour time frame. We'll keep a close eye on that because that could give us that indication of a breakout. And might actually give us more confidence in entering below that 67,641, I think it was. Let me actually grab my snap here. Yeah, 67,641. If I do see a bullish divergence getting printed here, I would be more inclined to go into a long position earlier than the 67,641. Without it, I would be waiting for a close candle above 67,641, of course. So interesting stuff going on there. Volume profiles are low. Again, this is pretty consistent. Although volumes had picked up most recently, volume profiles generally are low. So we want to be a little bit aware of that. At the moment, volumes are okay on the real kind of few candles here. If we're only going to look at those, we can see that volumes dropped down as we corrected. That gives us some momentum to the upside. And yeah, this remained low for now. So it's an interesting one when we take a look at volumes because yeah, they're not doing what they should be in my opinion. So all in all, actually on the 1 hour and 4 hour timeframes, Bitcoin's actually in a pretty good spot. Just waiting to see whether or not we're going to get rejected from this area of previous resistance between 66,773 to 69,000, or whether or not we're going to get confirmation of a breakout and target out a new all-time high. Maybe $70,000 is next here for BTC. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. And why don't you check out this video right here where I'm discussing what's going on with Cardano's ADA.